moving on to the championship weekend. So we have the Denver Broncos versus the New England Patriots on one side, and we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Rams for the third time this season, mind you, on the other side. Guys, I'm going to go around the room here. I just want to know your picks and give me your thoughts on who who's gonna make the Super Bowl 60 and who's gonna represent the AFC and NFC and why that is. Christian, we'll start with you. Why or
Oh,
who do you
Let's
think?
go.
all right. Okay.
Yeah, the football
Well,
guy.
yeah, this does pay me to say, but like I cannot take Jared Stidham over the Pats. Like, God, I'm trying to build credibility here as a football guy, which I am not. But anyways, like, yeah, that's where we got to start. Do I have to give more explanation than that? Like, I don't really
No, I
know
mean if
if there's
you believe
more to
in
do
Jared
there.
Stidham, that's fine. That's it's your choice.
um, I will say though, on the Seahawks Rams side. I am going Seahawks. I've had an affinity for the Seahawks since, I've locked in more on football. It stems from their incredible throwback jerseys that they wear every now and then. You don't see them in the playoffs, unfortunately, but they've been a pretty likable team for me. And my reasoning, I'm not going to give you some great reasoning here, but I have a question to pose to you guys as to why I feel like they get the least credit of the four. I know there's been a lot of talk against the Patriots. I know obviously the Seahawks are the one seed, like they did have an awesome record, but when we talk about all these teams and when I hear people talk about these teams, even before the championship week, I just never hear anything mentioned about the Seahawks head coach and credit towards Mike McDonald.
Mike
Like, can
McDonald.
you give me something on this guy? Because I swear there's nothing about him. He must
I
be
can
doing
give you
something right. Like, even thinking to last year, like he had Geno Smith, and Geno Smith might as well have not existed on the Raiders this year. And then you have Sam Darnold this year. I know it's more than that, but I don't know. Like, there is nothing to be talked about with this guy, and yet here they are in the championship game. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Please
I
answer this
mean
question for me, guys. Please.
the only thing I can tell you is the fact that this honestly is not a great situation for Mike McDonald. He's not the best head coach at home for whatever reason in his 2 years. He's much better on the road. Like he is the ultimate road guy. He can
Interesting.
go win a game on the road, and that's not going to sway me from taking the Seahawks in this game because that's who I think is going to win the NFC Championship game. But Mike McDonald, an excellent defensive head coach, and you understand why their defense is ranked number one in the league and why it is the best overall unit. You saw that game against the San Francisco 49ers was over before it even started. Like the moment that ball was kicked off and Rashid Shaheed went and scored that kick return touchdown, like it was, you might as well just put a bow on it and wrap the game up right then. The offense didn't even need to take a snap and they would have won the game. Like, that's how good this team was against the San Francisco 49ers, and I expect them to continue to roll. That 12th man is a problem. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, it is the fans of the Seattle Seahawks. They are an absolute they're the biggest home field advantage, in my opinion, in the NFL. You heard them last Saturday night. And listen, Mike McDonald, like, he's a quiet but very, like, he's got that killer instinct, it almost feels like. So yeah, like he's definitely got a good game plan for this weekend. Last time it was a shootout. The time before that it was it was I want to say like Sam Darnold had 4 picks in that game, but it was more so like just hold in there type of game. And that's what I feel like this weekend's going to be more about. Just hold in there and try to make one more play than the opposition.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens.
I mean, the Rams have been playing hold in their type of games, so yeah, we'll say that. For entertainment's sake, I would love that trend to continue.
Yeah. Yeah. Alex, what about you? What you got?
I can't disagree much with Christian, but I wanted to just touch on the question you asked, and I wanted to pose a funny little comment right here. So I looked up Mike McDonald to get a little bit more info because I agree.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
is very much just like I don't know
not
if it's just
talked
a
about.
vanilla. Yeah, like I tried to come up with an argument as to why people aren't talking about him, and I guess the only thing I can think of is that if you look at the other 3 coaches, they're big names for multiple reasons, right? Like McVay has won a Super Bowl as a coach. Mike Vrabel has won multiple as a player. And even Sean Payton has won with the New Orleans Saints. And I looked it up to make sure Mike Macdonald hadn't. The Ravens won in 2013, and then he joined the organization as an intern in 2014 and has worked his way up in that organization, and then now he's with Seattle. So just missed it. But also on Pro Football Reference, there's not even a photo beside Mike Macdonald's name. So like not even Pro Football Reference is giving him credit.
That's crazy.
So in terms of that, I'll stick with that side. I'll stick with that side. I find it hard pressed and you strip it down. It's not as easy as this, but to say that Sam Darnold is going to beat Matt Stafford is tough for me to accept. But I do think the Seahawks win. Like, I think this is the year that Sam Darnold, he understands the pressure on his shoulders. I understand he was playing injured last week, and they were still able to completely dismantle was the 49ers last week. So it was like just not even a conversation. It's just they have so many good things going for them. And like you said, Justin, I want to give you credit for Lumen Field in that it's one of the loudest barns. It's not barn in football, but loudest stadiums in football. And I know that there's going to be a lot of revenge for the Rams based on earlier weeks. So it was week either 18 or 17 that they lost. And I just think there's a lot of pressure put on that team, but I think the Seahawks, it feels like there's no pressure. Like they're like, we're the 1 seed, but we weren't expected to be here this year. We're going to just play and see what we can do. So I do think the Seahawks win there, and there's not much else to say on the Patriots. I do think, unfortunately for Denver, they're playing Jarrett Stidham. He's played, I think, 4 starts since he's been drafted, and he was a Patriots draft pick, I believe. Or he's been with the Patriots.
Yeah, he was a Patriots draft pick.
So, yeah, like, and I mean, I don't want to just make it simple as that. The Patriots have played better than the teams they've played. Have they played the most strong teams? I don't want to be the guy to say they've had the easiest path, but unfortunately for them, that is a talking point. And now it doesn't help. They have not won in the playoffs in Denver. So that is one thing to say. That is one thing for the Broncos. But I think the Patriots win. It's closer than I think people might make it out to be, but I do think Drake May leads them to the Super Bowl.
Brandon, we'll go with you.
Well, I mean, Alex, I'll say it. They had a very, very easy path to the Super Bowl if it all plays out that way, in my opinion. I mean, you think about they played the Chargers, who I thought by the end of the season were kind of like a fringy playoff team. Didn't feel like very competitive at that point. No offense, Alex.
No.
But then, a Houston team that was really only capable on one side of the ball, especially when you take out their number 1 wide receiver. And now to play a team without their number 1 quarterback in the AFC championship at this point, it does feel like things have bounced their way and there's nothing they can do about that but go out and play the games, and they've done well. So I'm going to pick the Patriots as well. I think they absolutely should. It would be very disappointing if Drake May and the squad there weren't able to get this one done. But on the other side, I'm going to kind of go the other way from you guys. I'm going to take the Rams in the NFC. I think for a lot of the reasons that some of you guys laid out but weren't willing to kind of fully commit on. But I'll say that I think that the Rams I just trust them a little bit more. I know I said last week that if the Seahawks do beat the 49ers, I would reevaluate my feelings on Sam Darnold and how I think he can operate in big moments. And I did do that. I really do think that this game is much closer than any of the games that really the Seahawks have played so far. And I think that I would expect this one to be really close, come down to a 4th quarter possession potentially. And for that reason, I think I'm going to take Matthew Stafford and the Rams. I love what their offense can do. And I think that even against a fantastic Seattle defense, I think if the moment is there, I think they'll be able to get it done. And the Rams defense isn't terrible either. I think they should be able to find some success. You guys alluded to it already. They did have that success against them earlier in the season when they played. And they beat them earlier. I know they were 1-1 in the regular season, but the sample's there. So I think for that reason, I'm going to go with McVay and the Rams to make another Super Bowl appearance.
Well, I hear you on the Rams. I do understand the reason why to take the Rams. I look at that performance last week by the Seahawks defense, and they're in such a groove right now that I just can't see them. I can't see them not shutting down Matthew Stafford. Like, I can't see that.
Well, be careful, though, because the one thing I'll say is that, yes, they played great against the 49ers, but who was out there for the 49ers? It's Brock Purdy with Tonjes and
Sure.
Brian Robinson Jr. And yes, I love Jawan Jennings, but like he was their only real threat. And I think that the Seattle, like I said, they shut them down. They look great, but I think it's a whole other situation, whole new game when you're talking about a 0-0. You know, they had the benefit of a 7-0 start basically from the jump. If that happens again and they get that, you know, an amazing start from Shaheed and they get the early lead, I'll give them much more credit. I'll give them much more opportunity. But for me, you start at 0-0 and you see the way the Rams have kind of played. Christian, you're right. Like in a negative way, their games have been almost too close for comfort. But I do think that some of that experience will help them if they're able to keep this game close. Obviously, if Seattle comes out and are rolling like they have been, credit to them, and they might be on their way to a Super Bowl this year. But for everything else, I think I'll stick with the Rams for now.
Fair enough. The AFC, listen, guys, this is not an easy test. Like it's hard. It's gonna be really hard. Jared Stidham's a really good quarterback. I think you guys are underrating him. I think the Patriots are gonna be in for a tough battle. I think that you're forgetting about how good the Denver Broncos defense is. That's a really, really good defense. The Patriots, if they're gonna win the Super Bowl, most likely are gonna have to. Well, they definitely have to go through the two best defenses on the AFC side. So just to say it's going to be the easiest walk or cakewalk to the Super Bowl in the history of its existence just doesn't add up to me. This is not an easy game for the New England Patriots. I'll tell you that right now. And listen, like Drake May did not perform that good last weekend. I'll admit that. Like he did not perform that good. And if they play anyone else but the Houston Texans, who have the worst quarterback in the world, it seems like, with CJ Stroud, they lose that game. Unfortunately, or fortunately for them, they have a defense that I don't think a lot of people are talking about enough, and that defense is pretty ferocious themselves. Milton Williams up, like he's so effective when Milton Williams is in the game compared to when he's on the game. They have two corners that are pretty good. I think Christian Gonzalez is one of the best in the world. And listen, I just think that when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you got to remember the New England Patriots have never beat the Denver Broncos in Mile High. So it will not be easy. That being said, I will take the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl. I'm just telling you,
if they do lose though, that the conversation is not going to be like, oh, they lost the number 1 seed in Denver. Like it's going to be they lost to Jarrett Stidham. How could this happen? We got to reevaluate what we're looking at. Like that's what it'll be.
Not reevaluating what you looked at because this was not supposed to happen this year.
Fine, that's
this
maybe
was
fair, but
not supposed to happen.
You'll look at the big moment differently because they failed.
That's what Patriots make it to the Super Bowl. Let's just put this into context. If the Patriots make it to the Super Bowl in year 1 of Mike Vrabel, in year 2 of Drake May, it makes it worse for Bills fans, does it not?
Well, no,
does
because
it not? Does it not?
I wouldn't say it makes it worse. I mean, it's pretty bad, but like, I think year 1, it's not terrible. Year 2, year 3, if you guys continue the success, absolutely, it becomes a problem. But like, look at a team like the I'm going to use. I don't think it's a perfect example.
Buffalo Bills have never made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know, but the New England Patriots 10 years ago were there every year, so we're not feeling that bad about it. We've lived through this before. Yeah, like we've felt this kind of pain before. Like we went through what 17 or 19 whatever years it was before we even made it back to the playoffs. There was a point where we were just happy to be there. Now we're transitioning to where you've probably been the whole time, where it's like we need to be back in the Super Bowl. So I mean, you've
never been there. At least
I know. I'm saying that's what you're feeling, but yes, that's how we're starting to feel now. So the pain will be new, but it will hurt. But I would say that again, they're not a great example, but the Bengals got to the Super Bowl. People thought they were going to go on a huge run. They were going to be the next ones to face off against Mahomes, and it didn't really pan out. They obviously had some other playoff appearances and had chances, but it just didn't work out. Like if the Patriots though can get back to a AFC title game next year or to a Super Bowl in 2 or 3 years in a row or within, then it's like, okay, this team is like a serious contender for years to come. I'm not ready to sit here and be like, oh, they're going to win the division for the next 5 years. They'll have their chance just like the Bills will going forward, but it's true. Like it's definitely disappointing to see the Patriots, climb back so fast compared to how long it's taken the Bills to potentially get to a Super Bowl, obviously.
Listen, the Patriots were down for what, 6 years? 5, 6 years? And what did you guys do with that?
We
Did
went
nothing.
to 2 AFC title
Nothing.
games. We went to the
Nothing.
playoffs every single year. We
Nothing.
won the division almost every
I
single
don't-
year. We did what we could.
Bills having
Only
another,
one team
like,
on
It
the
doesn't
Super
matter
Bowls
if
are
the
what-
Bro, we had
Patriots
to
are
face
a good
Mahomes.
team.
Super Bowls
Yeah,
are what
like
count. What the Patriots face Mahomes too. Like
I just want it to be known that Justin's the one who brought up the Bills first here. Like no one this Bills Patriots thing, Justin started this. Dude, you're in the AFC chip game. Like have some confidence, say it with your chest. You are the second Patriots fan I've talked to in consecutive days to do this couching. You don't need to couch him, man. You're going up against a backup quarterback. It will be a huge disappointment if you guys lose, but the odds are low. The odds are low. That's it.
I have a question.
No, the odds are not low. This defense is ferocious, guys. You guys are forgetting that this is a top 3 defense. And Jared Stidham obviously can play football. Like, this is not just like we're going to go throw Alex Mandarino out there and say, hey, boys, go and try to win
throw
the
him out there.
AFC.
He's got a point. He's got a point to make.
Like,
I could have been,
Jared
first of all,
Stidham
I might have been able to take the Texans to the AFC Championship if I were in there.
No, you couldn't.
I would have done a damn better job than CJ Stroud did. I have a question, okay? Would you, Justin, right now, rather play Bo Nix or Jared Stidham? And I need you to answer the question.
Obviously, Jared Stidham. What
That's
kind
the
of
wrong
question
answer.
is that?
That's the wrong answer. You know why? Because Christian is right. If you lose, this is a disappointment. You cannot say it was the second year and we didn't. You're in the AFC Championship. It is a disappointment if you lose to a backup quarterback. That is
we
just
have
fact.
never. We had the greatest quarterback in the history of the game, the greatest player in the history of the game. Did he ever win at Mile High? Did he ever win at Mile High?
No, he wasn't playing against Jared Stidham.
Yes. He's
He was
playing
playing
against
against
others.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah, once. They did it once and they lost because that was going to be a legendary run for the Broncos. They had a very good defense as well, but the difference is they had their guy at quarterback. This year they don't, and that's going to be what it comes down to, I think, for the Patriots. And
I
if you
think
guys lose, it will be a wasted opportunity. Nobody can. It doesn't have to be a disappointment, but you have to say that it will be a wasted opportunity.
Guys, I think you're sleeping on the Broncos.
No, I get your point. I think two things can be true. I think you can say it's still a good season, but you can't say it's not a disappointment. Now, if you're playing Bo Nix and you lose by a field goal, you can absolutely say, like, that sucks, but it was a much better year this year. Like, we didn't expect this, and that's not a disappointment. Now you flew too close to the sun. You have decided to go press the red button when you should have not. You pulled the fire alarm, and now you have to deal with the consequences if you lose.
You guys are talking like your teams have not made it to the AFC Championship game, or because I know Brandon has made it to the AFC Championship game, or to a Super Bowl in the last 20 years. I've watched the team do it, 10 times?
Pretty crazy.
What? So you're saying that because
you're talking before this AFC game as if you're a fan of a tortured franchise. You're a fan of a very entitled, like you're. This is what it is. You're trying to play it down as if, you don't have demons. Just
buddy,
don't worry, bro.
You guys are talking here like, oh, this is the biggest game of our lives. Like, yeah, for you guys it is, but in Foxborough they don't count AFC championships. They count Super Bowls.
Which is why it should be a walkover, because there's no pressure. Just get the job done. No one's making this a bigger deal than it is. We all said the Pats are going to roll over pretty easily.
Undervaluing the Denver Broncos and what they can do. You don't think Jared Stidham can play football? Like, realistically?
That's fine.
How many of us? Let's redo the poll. Bo Nix is at quarterback. What is your AFC? I'm taking the Pats still. I was still going to take the Pats.
I'm taking the Pats.
Okay.
I'm backing the Pats, obviously. But
I might take the Broncos.
I would take the Broncos.
Of course, he would take the Broncos. They just lost the Bills.
Now, last question. If Drake May wasn't playing, do you think the Pats have a chance to win?
Yes.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah,
I think
no.
that's crazy.
So like if
Okay,
it
well,
was,
it
if it was
depends on who
opposite,
the
if it's
backup-
if
it
it's Bo
depends
Nix
on-
versus
Correct.
I don't know who's your
If-
backup, Justin.
It's Joshua Dobbs, the
That's the astronaut. Yeah,
the
nice.
astronaut.
Yeah.
No,
I
if he
don't
has to
know
play,
about
and
that.
if it's Bo Nix versus Josh Dobbs, I'm taking Bo Nix for sure.
So I think the
And
point
so
I'm
you
trying
guys
to
are
make
debating.
is like,
You guys are debating whether or not Drake May is even the guy.
no, not at all.
Except
Drake
if you
May's
flipped it, and
Yeah,
May was
he's
hurt, but
absolutely
Nix was
the guy.
healthy.
I'm just saying.
Who
you
would
guys
you
are
take?
debating if he's the guy. Like,
No, he
No.
absolutely is the guy. That's why I'm saying if he's out, you're going to lose. And that's why Bo Nix is out. The Denver Broncos don't have a shot. And if they do,
no, they do have a shot.
I love
They
that
do
for
have a
them.
shot. They do have a shot. You want to know why they have a shot? Because they have a defense. Their defense is the best in the world.
You know who the Houston
That's how I
Texans
feel.
had? A defense. And they had
Yeah.
a guy that threw five picks or five.
You know why? Because Patriots defense is also pretty good.
Yeah, but the Denver Broncos offense this year has been spotty at best. I think you throw in their backup quarterback, they're not going to be able to score enough points, I think,
Right.
to
The only
beat your
thing that's
team.
going to be off.
That's just the
only thing that's going to be off is the timing for Jared Stidham.
No, man.
He's the only quarterback.
Everything else is the
that's
same.
played-
Everything else.
Yeah,
Bro's taking
well,
every snap. Like, yeah.
He hasn't taken snap since 2023.
23. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
So-
It's gonna be
in a
more than the
game-
timing, brother.
I wish that they had like a potent running offense or something that they could kind of lean on in that position, but realistically, they don't really do that much super well on offense. So that it's going to be really hard for them to drive down the field
Yeah,
with
I
a
get that.
pretty much a brand new, starting
But
quarterback.
it would be
It's gonna
disrespectful to me, or
Yeah,
for
nobody's-
me to come on here and say, "Hey, the Patriots are just going to steamroll the Broncos." Like, you have to give your opponent some credibility here. And like
I
the fact
understand
that
that.
the Patriots have not
Sure.
gone into Mile High and beat them with Tom Brady, that's a fact. The fact that the Denver Broncos have an elite defense, that's a fact. The fact that Drake May did not look excellent against an elite defense last weekend, that's a fact. Like, there are things that are very, like, this is not just going to be a cake or a walkover. Like, this is going to be a matchup. And I think that it's going to be within a touchdown. Do I think that the Patriots will win? Yes. But that's my point. Anyway,
We can leave
Spend
it
too
at
much
that.
I
time.
get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to finish with, because I really was hoping that the Buffalo Bills would be going to Foxborough this weekend. But unfortunately, because they lost, they're not. And you know whose fault that is? Josh Allen. So, anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it. I know you're upset, Brandon. You're not going to Foxborough this weekend, but
It's a low blow, brother. Come
Bro, I
on.
was
You're
never
on
going to
you're on the
Fox-
ropes with 10 chips and whatever. Like, come
Brandon
on.
bought his ticket to
I was-
Foxborough already.
I was never going to Foxborough,
I'm not.
bro.
No, I mean like the team.
You said that,
figuratively.
not me.
Figuratively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
guess I would have loved to have beaten you and gone to the Super Bowl, but now I
Yeah,
can't.
but
even
you wouldn't
imagine.
have. You wouldn't have, like, because the
Ah.
Patriots would have won that matchup.
Oh, the Patriots would have steamrolled the Bills, but not the
you're gonna
Broncos.
lose to Jared Stidham. You would have beat Josh Allen.
I
Oh,
don't.
man.
Did you guys lose to Denver? Yes or no?
Yeah, in overtime with some questionable calls and some weird
here
stuff
we
happening.
go. Here we go. Listen, the
I just-
Denver
I-
Broncos
I-
are a very good team,
I know, like,
quarterback aside.
at least half a dozen Patriots fans, and none of them I've spoken to have, like, just the littlest bit of, I don't know, not respect, because
Why
you're
would we be
showing so
Why
much
would we
respect to
be
the Broncos that
talking?
it's disrespectful. That's
Oh
what
my
you're
God.
doing.
No. Anyway,
Oh man.